What is going on, YouTube? Welcome to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson. Today, joined with my good friend, Colin Alcabes. Today, we're talking about Igor Shesterkin and how he's been playing so far throughout the season. But before we do that, this is the first episode that we've been able to make since the season started. Me and Colin did go on a grand world tour to one place, the great state of Louisiana. Saw the Saints play. For those that don't know, I'm a Saints fan. We also saw the LSU Tigers, got to storm Tiger Stadium's field in Death Valley. Pretty cool stuff that we did. So I'm sorry that we haven't been here to discuss the first few games of the season, but we're back. Colin's in the office, business casual. I'm just chilling at home. But before we do talk about Igor, I do kind of want to give my opinion on the first three games of the season. We did miss that game against Utah because we were at the LSU Tigers game, but we watched the highlights. Obviously, that one, not the greatest defensive showing. Igor did let in a few softies, but game one of the season, pure dominance by the Rangers, a shutout for Igor Shesterkin in game one, decimated the Penguins. And then last night, the Rangers pretty much mopped up the Red Wings, a.k.a. the former New York Rangers. They have like 6 skaters on that team that used to be on the Rangers. So overall, I'm satisfied. Panarin looks great, currently leads the league in points. Well, tied for with Jack Eichel and Evgeny Malkin, 7 points in 3 games, tied for first place. And Alexis Lafrenière looks like he's extending that breakout for another season, hoping for phenomenal things from him. So overall, I'm more than satisfied 3 games into the season. Don't have a regulation loss just yet. So I'm happy. But yeah, I don't know, Colin, how do you feel?
I mean, there's a lot of good and a lot of bad. I feel like it's been kind of a roller coaster. Obviously, that game against Utah, just from the highlights that I watched, there's a lot of defensive miscues. And as you mentioned, there's I know one goal comes to mind. It was beat Igor short side off the post, which I was shocked at. A lot of really bad officiating in that game as well. What is goalie interference? I mean, you flip a coin and it's something different every day. So that kind of frustrates me, and that's a big reason as to why we lost as well. Because I know I mentioned it to you, Cooley got pushed into the goalie. They called a penalty on us, and they would score on the ensuing power play. But, I mean, you can't let Clayton Keller go to the front of the net like that, so that was a tough one. Really, that Penguins game was perfect start to finish. I watched almost the entirety of it. I was at the Travis Scott concert for that game. So I was watching on my phone whilst also trying to watch the Yankees and the Mets. So I was doing a lot of flipping, but from the parts I saw, it was a complete game through and through. And also the first Rangers shutout in a season opener since like 1956 or something.
I thought you were going to say 1994.
No, not everything can go back to 94, but since 56, I believe the year was, which is incredibly impressive. Obviously, it doesn't bode well for contract talks, as we can see by the graphic here. Igor does have that money in mind. And again, he played very well last night, making a lot of key saves when it was close, and then allowing the Rangers to finally pull away. Riley Smith scoring his first goal of the season. Mika with, I think, a 3-point night. I think he had a goal and 2 assists. And that first line was popping. And then you get Loft on the board as well. With his hot start, you have the contract talks with him going on. So obviously there's a lot to go on about. But we'll just get to the brass tacks of it. Igor, he's been playing well. Outside of the Utah game, which I think is an outlier so far. He looked really, really good last night, as we said. It was last night. And he looked downright dominant in the Penguins game. And the Red Wings coach went as far to say he was smart for ejecting the $88 million. Now, is that a tactical move just to drive the price up even more? Maybe. But I also have to agree he's been playing very, very well. So, it's definitely a little bit concerning now that they're talking Lafrenière 8x8. I'm sure that'll be another episode later date once that starts to really pick up steam. Because I know they're very preliminary in those talks. But it is a little scary seeing how little money we have and seeing both of these players in contract years starting off so hot. But what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking back to the Utah game, obviously, like we said, defense practically non-existent, officiating terrible, which, by the way, just a little side note, Wes McCauley, I have such a love-hate relationship with him because, you've seen all, the funny calls that he's made when he's, announcing a penalty and he gets, super over-dramatic with it. I find that hilarious, and I love him for that. But at the same time, he hates the Rangers. So I feel like every time Wes McCauley is reffing a game, there's some stupid play call that makes me want to put my fist through the TV because, I mean, that there was that one goalie interference call that just blew my mind. Like you said, what is goalie interference these days? You flip the coin, heads it's a goal, tails it's not a goal. Like the NHL needs to do something about that. And side note, the first game of the season against Pittsburgh, and then last night against Detroit, or I guess 2 nights ago when this episode is posted, I should say. Like Igor looked phenomenal. A shutout in his first game of the season. That's when I knew we were cooked. Because heading into the season, I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I hope we have a good year, but I hope Igor does not have like an insane career year because then we have to hand him the bag. After that shutout, I was like, yep, he's getting that bag. He's going to get that $12 million. And then last night against Detroit, he looked really, really well. Only had 1 goal against, I believe it was, right?
Yeah, yep.
And the one standout play to me, I believe, was in pretty early on in the second period, or either early in the second or late in the first. He had that crazy save. You know, Igor likes his save strippy, bro. He flashed the glove, looked incredible, and I'm a little scared because, like you mentioned, there are contract talks with Alexis Lafrenière, 8x8, if not more than 8. And like I'm fine with paying Lafrenière 8. I think that contract would age very, very well. Salary cap's going to keep going up. Lafrenière is only going to get better. That contract would look amazing 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't leave a lot of room for Shesterkin when he's aiming for $12 million. And I factor in the part where the Rangers already offered him an 8x11. We offered him, reportedly, 8 years, 11 million annual average value. And he said no, because apparently, even though that would have already made him the highest paid goaltender in NHL history, that's not all he cares about. He wants to be the highest paid player on the Rangers. And unfortunately, Panarin makes 11.6. Because I don't like, and that alone boggles me. I'm like, are you that selfish? Are you that cocky? Like, we're trying to make you the highest paid goaltender in NHL history, and that's not enough for you. Just because you and your agent think that you're the number 1 player on the Rangers, that you have to be the highest paid player on the Rangers. And look, I get it. He wants money. If I was in the NHL, I would want money too. And I get that it's still the beginning of the season. We don't have to pay him until the end of the season. I get that. Igor has every right to hardball, try to raise that price right away. But he asked for to be the highest goaltender in history. We gave him that. And now he's like, I'm adding another factor into this. I also want to be the highest paid player on the Rangers. Like, come on, bro. Over summer, you're like, I love New York. I want to stay here. We just gave you the opportunity, bro. Like, what do you like? Come on. Like, I don't know. It's making me mad when I talk about it.
I agree. It definitely is like a frustrating topic for sure, because here's a guy who, like, you love him. He's been the backbone of the team for a little bit now. I mean, not solely, but he's been a big reason why we've been as successful as we have, because we were able to transition from one Hall of Fame goalie potentially right into the next. You know, it is just absurd. And I feel like the Packers moving from Favre to Rodgers, and now Rodgers to Love. We went from Richter to Hank, and now Hank to Shesterkin. We've been incredibly blessed, but he's asking for a lot of money. And like, I want to be angry at him, but then I watch him play and I'm like, he's very, very good. He's very good. It's incredibly hard for me to justify giving him that money. And it's crazy to think that there might be a team that will. But there is. But like, if he does it, he's kissing winning a cup goodbye. Or not goodbye, but he's kicking that can far down the road. He's blowing up this car for sure. And until the cap goes up, it really is not feasible for a couple of years. Like, it makes it difficult for the next like 4 or 5 years.
Well, yeah, and like, let me clarify, right? Like, Igor is the best player on the Rangers. I don't disagree with him on that. He is the best player. But And is he worth $12 million? Probably. Like you just said, if we don't pay him, somebody's going to pay it. Probably like the Sharks or something. But it's just, is he worth it? Yes. Should we do it? No. Because like you just said, if we hand that man $12 million annually, kiss winning goodbye. As yeah, he's good, but there are so many other problems that we need to fix. Our defense, although it's looked solid through 3 games, I'll admit. Trouba, I forgive you. Almost. Like, keep it up and I'll forgive you.
Give him some time. He'll return to
like he might enter mid-season form relatively soon, which is a negative thing if you've been watching this channel. But so far, the defense looked good. But there are some holes in it that I would still like to patch up. The offense, while I love our offense, we do have some key players who seemingly disappear in the playoffs. I'm not saying get rid of Panarin, but maybe add another guy who might be a little bit of a better postseason performer. Like, point is, there are other problems in this lineup that need to be fixed before I'm like 1,000% confident that we'll win a cup. And it's going to be really hard to do that when you have your goaltender who's only going to play like 2/3 of the season making $12 million. Like, the second that Jonathan Quick gets a start and we lose, I'm going to lose my mind, because, or whoever the goaltender is next season, because that's $12 million, like 9% or so of our salary cap sitting on the bench while we lose. And it's mind boggling to me. I love Igor. The position of goaltender, if he wants 12 million, play the whole year. If not, you're going to get 2/3 of that 12 million, in my opinion. like you'll get 8. You'll get 8 million because you're not playing the full season. I'm not having a guy making that much money ride my bench for like 20 something games. But I don't know. That might just be me.
I'll say the only reason why I would argue against that is just because of in terms of longevity. The last thing you want to do is risk him getting hurt. And so that's why they do the load management thing. I will say one thing that we kind of glazed over here that I'd like to go back to is jury is pretty close-knit when it comes to like contract talks, when it comes to like actually decline deals and things like that when negotiating. Obviously, you have like, well, everybody speculates as like the starting points and things like that, and especially when a deal is coming to be like closer to done. It's like we heard that the preliminary talks are like Laf 8x8, but like you never hear about a player like declining a deal typically with the Rangers. It doesn't happen a lot. You hear about the talks maybe about what it could be, but like never that it's like they said no to this. Jury totally leaked or reported that Igor said no to the 8x11, just as like a look at what he's doing. Like, not to turn the fan base against him, but kind of to make him look like a fool, especially if he has a really bad year this year, and also just to make him look greedy, which might not be the best bargaining point when you're trying to sign your franchise goalie. It might not sit well. It'll leave a good taste in his mouth when it comes to the Rangers. But like, I think it's done just that. If we didn't know that he declined in 8x11, we'd be sitting here strictly talking about how well he's playing and that every day the price tag goes up. But we wouldn't be saying, oh, he's looking for 12. What an asshole. Like, there are fans out here who can't stand this man right now, which is crazy because he is very, very good. And like, I was there before the season started. I was like, I hate this man. How could he? Because I love this team. And how can you I think he's demanding 14% of the cap.
Oh, I thought it was like 9, 14. Wow.
I believe it's 14 or 14.5% of the cap.
Which, by the way, sorry to cut you off. I hate this argument that I keep seeing where it's like, yeah, he's just asking for 14% of the cap space. That's exactly what Lundqvist had at the time. Bro, did we win a cup with Lundqvist? No. Like, sure, Lundqvist was great and he earned that money and we gave it to him, but that left us like no room to get better. The Lundqvist era, when we were in like our cup, like prime cup window in like 2013 to like 2015, we did not have an offensive superstar. Like, we had good guys like Zuccarello and Stepan and Kreider and Rick Nash, but like none of them were superstars. None of them were elite playoff performers. And the reason we didn't have one is because we couldn't afford one, because Henrik Lundqvist was taking up 14% of the cap. And like, don't take this as Hank hate. I love Hank. And if I can go back, I would do it again. I would have paid that man more because that's how much I love him. But at this point, after being a fan so long, I want to win. And I know that allocating 14% of your salary cap on a goaltender is not going to leave you enough room to win. So
it's unrealistic. I mean, the more I think about it, right? Like, there's just so much money that needs to go around and not enough to give it. And people are like, oh, the cap's going to go up. The cap's going to go up. The cap is going to go up. But, like, what are we going to have to lose in the meantime while we're waiting for it to do so? We won't be able to put a strong supporting cast around him. We're barely able to put a strong supporting cast around him now. If we find a way to open up some cap, I know everybody's going to be like, I'll get rid of Trouba, and Panarin's coming off the book soon. He'll be in line for a cheaper deal on his next go-around. He's still going to command a pretty penny, though, because he's scoring over 100 points per season consistently now. There's a lot of money, and there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. The decor is young, but there needs to be some stability back there, and I feel like we don't have it right now. I feel like it's very, very shaky. Obviously, Mancini's in there right now, very young, incredibly young, and with Lindgren out, it's kind of tough. But like the decor, I'd love to kind of rework that whole thing. I've mentioned this a million times. I don't really love our decor as opposed to like the Devils' decor. I look at their decor up and down, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Even Utah's decor at this point is I would say better than ours.
Utah's good, man. Utah's good. Don't underestimate them.
You know, like the only positions where and we still after the season don't have a first line right wing. We have Riley Smith right now, who people are still arguing. While he's played well so far, I think
he has played well.
That he won't be first line material the rest of the season, and even if he is, he's gone because we won't be able to afford him after this. He'll leave. So now you have the gaping hole at right wing, first line right wing that we've had since Buchnevich left, that we always complain about, and you have the decor still in shambles. We finally figured out kind of the bottom six, and I love our second line, as does everybody. But you need to have a scoring first line too. I mean, you look at what the Panthers just did. They had two complete lines, really three complete lines, and a great forechecking line. We have some of that, but not all of it. And they have it all on deals there. They got guys locked up for life on steals on both their defensive side and the offensive side of the puck. So, you know, there's a lot of things that the Rangers need to fix, and there's not a lot of money going around. And for Igor to ask for 12 mil or more is just astounding to me that he thinks that he can.
So selfish.
That's and he's also been. It's not like he hasn't been. He's not a rookie, you know, coming into the league and looking to make money to set himself up for life. He's been getting paid. He's been getting paid over in Russia in the KHL for quite some time. Now I don't know how the contracts are looked over there, so I don't know like his net worth. I can try and look it up quick, but like
pull that up.
He's not like a broke rookie coming into the league looking to get that first big deal. You know what I mean? Like Lafrenière, he's looking to give himself some breathing and some stability and some, because you don't know how his career is going to go. He's looking, this is his first big deal. You know what I mean? Igor, right now, looking at his net worth based just on hockey salaries and whatnot, is $24,450,000 made in hockey.
Like this contract that he's going for, it's not even about the money. He just wants the title of being the highest paid player in the league, goaltender in the league, and the highest paid player on the Rangers. I don't think he actually cares about the money. He just wants that glory.
I think that also goalie is such an injury-prone position, and he does do a lot for the Rangers, so I'm not going to take any of that away from him. But he could definitely get by with $11 million a year. It's not like we're spitting in his face. We're still making him the highest paid player in NHL history.
That's just that's what's so ridiculous to me.
Like, or maybe it's just per year. I'm not really sure. There's so many different things with it, but like it's not like we're spitting in his face and saying that he's not good enough, and we're giving him $9 million or nothing else. We're giving him we offered him $11 million. So then to turn around and ask for no, or to ask for more, to say no and ask for more, unless we win a cup this year, I have no interest in paying him 12. I just can't.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I try and I just can't.
This I think I've mentioned this before, but it's like my hottest take of all time. When the trade deadline rolls around, if we're in a playoff position and like we have a lot of leeway, I fully believe that Jonathan Quick has it in him to win a Stanley Cup. As long as our forwards and our defense play well, Jonathan Quick is good enough to get us to a cup final and hopefully win. So honestly, if the trade deadline rolls around and Igor is still like and is having like an incredible season and he's like, nah, like I want like over 12 million. I actually did some research for this episode about contracts for once, because every time we talk about contracts, we're like, oh, I don't know if he has a no trade clause or not. He has a modified no trade clause, 10-team no trade list. Submit that list, Igor. Submit those 10 teams, and I will trade you to the 11th worst team in the league, so we don't have to face you in the playoffs. We'll get something for you before you just walk for nothing like John Tavares did to the Islanders. And then Jonathan Quick will win us the Stanley Cup with whatever superstar we get in return.
I think that's crazy. But
it's crazy, but so is paying him $12 million.
It's just so difficult, man. I try really hard to justify it, and he just makes it so damn difficult.
I did too. Look, this is the first episode that like we've fully dedicated to this discussion, but we've brought it up in so many episodes. And all throughout summer, when it's being rumored and there's reports about what he's asking for, I've tried to make justifications, and I've been like, he's the backbone of the team. He's carried us in the playoffs every year. But just the longer it goes on, it's just the crazier it sounds to me. And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back was when we offered him what he wanted, and he changed his mind and was like, just kidding. I need more. Like, he's playing us. Like, he's like, I want to be the highest paid player on the Rangers. Sure, let's offer him 11.7. He's gonna be like, oh, I want to be the first player to make like 17 million. Like, I just keep going up and up. So I'm turning on Igor. I still love him, and I love watching him play. But that's gonna change about 79 games from now.
Quick maths. I'm trying to just enjoy the season and let this freak me out later. Like, I was just thinking about it this morning. I was like, go ahead and pay Laf. Get him locked up if he wants to. If you're talking about the 8x8, I'm not really too concerned about that. I heard this morning that a lot of people think that, and this is like NHL analysts, think that he Lafreniere's arbitration, because he is arbitration eligible for a couple more years, that it would come in around 5.5 to 6.5. So if you want to take that gamble and let it go to that, you can.
Pay him 8. Pay him 8.
If he doesn't take that huge next step, because I think it was like Friedman or somebody. It was somebody on Johnny Lazarus' podcast. I don't know if you saw it. They were asking because
I saw the clip on Twitter.
He was like, I want to get that Laf tattoo or whatever. And they were saying that if he has another year like last year, he finishes the same with 57 points, do you just take it to arbitration or do you sign the man now? And I don't hate the idea of either, but I'd be totally cool with signing him and figuring out this whole Igor thing later. Because, like, I'm not going to hold up contract talks with one player because you're being greedy, and I want to be prepared to give you,
I'll sign Laf to an 8x8 right now. Lafrenière is a drama-free king. Like, he's the other big free agent we have to sign this year. Have we heard any drama about it or any rumors or any speculation? Nope. Only thing we've heard is just we're working on an 8x8. Thanks, Lafrenière. We offer you something. Take your money and say thank you, and then get out on the ice. Put the puck in the net, bro. Like, Also, side note, I opened up Twitter just to see if there was any news. At 3 minutes ago, Adam Fox and his wife announced they're expecting a baby girl. Congratulations, Adam. I'm so happy for you. Long Island fellow, just like us.
Love to hear that. That's big for the Fox family. So huge shout out to them. I forgot what I was gonna say. In terms of the Igor thing, I don't know. I think that you just kind of have to let the season play out. And I don't think they're gonna trade him. I don't think there's any way in hell they trade him unless he makes it.
They won't. They won't.
But I think that they're gonna. I think that this is going to be the move that defines Chris Drury's career with the Rangers, because like you'll either trade him and people will hate you, or you won't sign him or people will hate you. Regardless, if he leaves the Rangers, people will hate you. Some people will love you. You sign him, and you're making it very, very difficult to win a cup for the foregoing future. And I remember saying to you and to Vigna, who is now on the Shesterkin hate train as well, I was not willing to give Igor any more than 10.5. That was where I drew the line.
Yeah.
Then I heard 11. I was like, okay, fine. $500K. I guess we could do it. I don't know, man. More than that, like I don't want to go more than now. I thought 10.5 was reasonable. I don't think I'll go more than 11.5.
No, like
to 12 to 12.5. I just looked it up. He's looking for the same percentage of cap that Panarin has now, which I believe is 14.6.
Like, stop comparing yourself to Panarin. He's a forward. He scores 120 points.
But that would put him at 12.56 mil per season is what his camp is looking for. Now, at first I thought, oh, they're just highballing us. That way we come in the middle and, it is what it is. We got to the middle. Still no deal. Like he wants that. I think that's his line. And I can't in good conscience give him that much money. I can't.
No. I can't either. That's why I'm saying, like, do I think the Rangers would actually trade Igor? No. Like, I think we're stupid enough to hand him whatever he wants. But do I think they should? Yes, absolutely. If the deadline rolls around and he's still not budging and we're in a playoff position, like, I'm quick take the wheel. Like, that's fine with me.
You have a lot of faith in Quick, and I respect that, but I also think you're a madman because Quick.
I also haven't seen him play this season yet. Like,
Quick is old. I love Quick.
Yeah, but this is all just speculation based on what I saw last year.
Yeah, but in a backup role where he wasn't starting night in and night out, I agree. In his spot starts, he was phenomenal. But the last time he had to take on a big workload was with the Kings, and he was getting lit up like a Christmas tree.
I think it's also the Kings.
The Kings are like right there with us in terms of like, well, I mean, we're better than them, but like in terms of where they were and where we were, they were very similar. And Igor was popping off, and Quick was not.
Were the Kings not like a fringe playoff team last year?
No, I'm saying back when they ended up inevitably getting rid of him.
Oh,
obviously,
gotta be capped. The Kings have not been contenders since like they beat us in the Cup.
They've been in the playoffs for the last couple of years. I was at one of their games against Edmonton in LA.
Like barely though. Like we won the President's Trophy last year. Like,
I'm done talking regular season awards. I'm over it.
Oh yeah, shout out that banner that we put up.
Vigna's love that line, but I'm done. Like I have to agree with him. I'm done talking regular season awards because we're not here for President's trophies. As lovely as they are, and if we can get one on the way, sure. But that's not what the main goal is. That's never.
I made me so mad when I saw that picture. For those watching that don't know, the Rangers hung a banner at MSG that says 2023-24 regular season champions. Like, I remember when the Predators did that, and I clowned on them so hard. I took to social media and I was just making fun of the Predators, even though I kind of like the Predators. They're probably in like my top 5 teams in the league if I had to make a list. I was just making fun of them so much, and I had such a good time until now, years later. I'm sitting here and I'm like, we did it.
All the turntables.
No, literally the turns did table, and I haven't posted anything yet, but I guess this video will be posted. I gotta clown the Rangers. You're embarrassing us. Stop it. The rafters should be for Stanley Cup wins and retired jerseys. That's it.
I know they put up conference championships too.
Conference championships, maybe.
I said the playoff accolades. Go ahead. I don't care that you want a President's Trophy.
I could be open to the Eastern Conference Championship banner.
They do that one. I think they do the division. I think they do them all. I think if you win in the playoffs, they put up a banner. Now, do they
like not Eastern Conference. I mean, like you win the Eastern Conference, like you make it to the finals, and you're the crown. What I don't remember is the Prince of Wales Trophy East or West?
East. I don't know. I never know the names of those trophies. I just know.
I don't. I know that's the only name I know, and the other one's on the tip of my tongue, and I don't remember which is which. But whatever the trophy it is that you get for winning the East, if we win that, hang that in the rafters. But if you win the Metro, I don't care. Do not hang a banger for that.
The Prince is the East one. I don't know what the West one is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The West is terrible, and I don't care. But if you win the Metro, don't hang a banner. If you win the President's Trophy, maybe like make like a special Instagram post, but no banner.
Heard of coin for the first game of the season?
Yeah. Like it's like, oh, Jacob Trouba finished the game with a positive plus minus. Throw 3 banners up in the rafters. Like I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'm sure other people feel differently, but to me, the rafters should be for winning the East, winning the Cup, and retiring a jersey. Those are the only 3 to me.
I don't hate that. I think it varies by team, but I don't hate that. I think if you want to keep it very classic, I don't think that's a bad look. It would just look better. I think they do it just to fill it up because it's pretty empty up there.
Dude, that was like when we were at the Saints game on Sunday, and I'm looking up at the rafters. My first ever time in the Superdome. Awesome, great place. There were so many banners that were just like NFC South champions. But where'd that get us, though? We only won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not really banner worthy.
That's fair.
And I'm a Saints fan. I'll clown on them, and I'm allowed to because we're terrible. But I'm like, I don't know, like the stuff like that. And I'm just like, eh. Like the rafters to me are like a sacred place. Like should only be touched when something really incredible happens. And I know this is a hockey channel, but just to wrap up the Saints thing, like the NFC South has 4 teams. It's like roll the dice, and like any team's gonna win that. Like I don't know, but that's just me. I'm sure most of the people watching this are Giants or Jets fans. I can't remember the last time I was at MetLife Stadium. I don't know if they do that too. Colin, you'd probably know. Do they hang like division? Not that the Jets have ever won a division championship in your lifetime, but do they?
I've been to one Jets game just because getting to MetLife isn't the easiest thing. I'm going to another one this season. I've only really started watching football like going because I was in college, so it was like hard for me to get to games. And before that, I didn't have any money. So now that I have money, I've been going, and I'm going to the Colts game this year. So I'll get back to you on that. But I don't know. But you're right; they don't win a whole lot, so it's tough for me to even comment on.
If anybody's watching and has been to MetLife Stadium like recently, not like this year, but like within the last couple of years, let us know. Do they hang banners for winning the division? Because I know the Giants have won the division at least a couple times. They used to be good.
I can't even Google it because I Googled it and it said new banner hung up in MetLife, and the banner just says won a game in September.
Tony would know the answer to this question, but he's not here right now. I could text Tony, but I don't know if he'd answer by the time we're done recording. I feel like we're about done with the conversation now that we're just talking about football.
Yeah. Yeah, now that I'm done getting clowned on Google for asking a question.
I will text Tony though, and if he answers, I'll comment it if he knows. But if you're watching and you know the answer to our question, please answer. I'm a bit curious. But Igor Shesterkin, greedy or genius? Let us know down in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and you ring that bell so you don't miss notification. We'll be back soon for some more Rangers content, but that about concludes Fireside Rangers for this evening. Have a good one, and let's get Rangers. And Saints for that matter. I might add that. And Yankees. Go Yankees. Woo!